Czech Republic and Israel, and between the Czech people and Jewish people in general run very deep and for a long time. When it's kind of difficult to explain why Czech Republic in particular has this strong relation with Israel. And when we are thinking about it, the first or the most important thing from the past that comes to mind is our first president, Tomáš Masaryk, who was a professor before he was a president, and as a professor he fought against the blood libel trial of a poor Jew in the Czech Republic. I think at that time, not Czech Republic, in Czech lands, it was still Austro-Hungarian Empire. I think at that time the Czechs were basically anti-Semitic as anyone else in Europe, and President Masaryk himself, he said later that as a child he was raised as maybe anti-Semite, that the prejudices were there and he had to fight it in his mind. He realized it's very wrong, and then through the defense of this individual and through his public speeches, appearances, he fought against anti-Semitism, explaining that this is wrong and that this is a basically backward prejudice of the past. And since when he became a president after the end of the First World War, he was extremely popular and respected. His views on Jews and later on Israel became like mainstream, became what everybody realized that this is correct. He was also the I think first European leader visiting mandatory Palestine in 1927. He went to Jerusalem. He met with Yishuv leaders, and he expressed strong support to Zionism. He was the first Czech Zionist leader. And I think that's why, and we are very proud that there are many places in Israel that are named after Masaryk. Tel Aviv Square, there is Masaryk Forest, which is not a big forest, but still there is for Masaryk, and then for all these relations have borne fruit for when the Israel was created. Czechoslovakia of that time was part of the partition commission, and then of course we voted for, and then, as you said, we supported Israel in the war of independence, including training pilots and so on. Then, unfortunately, the communists, they brought some disruption to this great friendship, but immediately after the fall of communism in 1990, Václav Havel came back to this tradition of support of Israel. In his first speech as a president on the New Year's, his New Year's speech in 1990, he said that one of his biggest goals for the first period of his presidency is to renew diplomatic relationship with Israel. It happened in February 1990, and in April 1990, President Havel visited Israel already. And since then, this strong cooperation and support continues. It's on many levels. There is a cooperation in defense, in new technologies. There is a strong political support, strong feeling that, also kind of feeling of the small country, or not such a big country like Czech Republic, understanding the situation of another not such a big country as Israel. We are now surrounded by friends, but in the history we were surrounded by enemies as well. We understand this difficult situation, and this support and cooperation continues up to now, till today. Our Minister of Foreign Affairs was the first foreign leader that came to Israel after October 7th for a solidarity visit, and since then basically all the leaders visited: the President, the Prime Minister, Chairman of the Parliament and of the Senate, many Minister of Defense, many parliamentarians, and I think within the EU, Czech Republic is the steadfast, continuous supporter of Israel, and that goes across the political spectrum. It's not that one government is pro-Israel and the opposition is anti-Israel, or vice versa. It's if there is one consensus on the Czech political scene, it is the support of Israel, and I hope it will stay so in the future. Although, of course, the young generation is always a challenge because they want to rebel. They go to Western universities and they adopt the views. So we need to continue to educate the new generations as well. So this is my introduction to the Czech-Israeli relationship, and now I'll pass the floor to Michal.
Thank you, Madam Ambassador. We actually to give you a short presentation about the Czech Republic. It will be not a presentation as such, because it's impossible actually to present my country in 10 minutes. But what I would like to share with you, actually, it's a perspective, it's an area, it's a field, it's a kind of activities that you could maybe share with your followers on the social media. So my first question usually is, what do you know about the Czech Republic? If I say the word Czech Republic, what's usually the first idea, the first thought that you have came to your mind? What is it usually? Classical music or
everything?
Everything, yeah.
Well, these days I think about the word friends.
Friends,
yes.
Great.
No, it's very easy. It's beer.
Beer, okay, yeah. What other? Kafka, yeah, great.
The castle.
Castle, yeah, great. So you already said everything. The first usually it's Prague. Yeah, Prague is our capital. And then we are very good in hockey. Actually, we were the world champion in 2024 and many years before as well. You mentioned Kafka, beer, Skoda, the brand car. Yeah, exactly. And Bohemia Castle.
I just bought one.
Yeah, great.
I heard they are getting more expensive in India.
And
everywhere.
Becherovka, exactly. Yeah. And the story of Golan. We spoke right now about it. So maybe there is some things that you didn't know about the Czech Republic. Is that the Israeli anthem Tikva actually was inspired by Bedřich Smetana symphony poem Vltava. That we are the country in the heart of Europe. We have the eldest university in Central Europe, the most castle in Europe. We are unfortunately, the larger consumer of beer per capita as well. And Prague, it's called the city of 100 spears. And here you have some very general information that already Madam Ambassador underlined. We are quite like 11 million inhabitants, capital is Prague, parliamentary republic. We are member of the European Union and NATO. And if the topic actually of today's presentation is not to focus on Prague, we have to start with Prague, for sure. So I have another question. Have you ever been in Prague? Everybody? So 2, great. So now we will look at a very short video focusing especially on the culture and architecture. What is like take it as a short appetizer about Prague. As you know, Prague is part of the UNESCO Heritage List. So we start with the Gothic style. This is the Prague Castle. This is the largest castle in the world. The Renaissance style, 19th century opera, the historical center. It's very nice to visit. The tourist usually loves it. There is a lot of religious monument in the Baroque style, the churches, palaces. Prague is called as well mother of all towns. And this is the Tomáš Garrigue message. Maybe you remember for the presentation that Madam Ambassador underlined. So this was really like a short video, and maybe you missed in this video something, and that's the link and connection with the Jewish community. Actually, the Jewish settled in the 10th century in Prague, and it used to be the largest Jewish community in Europe in 15th and 16th century. You are aware maybe of Maharal of Prague, the story of Golem, and I invite you to visit the Jewish Museum with the 6 synagogues and the old Jewish cemetery where you can find the tomb of Rabbi Lev. Linked with the Jewish aspect, it was mentioned here by David, Franz Kafka was born in Prague, a German-speaking writer, but a very famous figure in our bilateral relations. You definitely know Metamorphosis, the Trial, the Castle, the Jasmine, and many other books. Except these 2 museums, like a Jewish museum and Kafka museum, there is total 84 museums in Prague. So you are invited to visit them all. The biggest one is the National Museum. And for those who prefer to enjoy the life and the coffee, yeah, so there is a lot of Prague cafe as well, usually inspired by the 19th century or late 19th century style or the beginning of the 20th century. Maybe you know, but and cafe. Yeah, exactly, Louvre Cafe. Yeah, actually the Louvre Cafe is this small picture. It's the sweet cake. But we are famous for palachinka. Maybe you know this special cake, which was actually made by Czech servants in Vienna in the 19th century. But Czech Republic is not only Prague. We have 14 regions, and the 13 other regions has their beauty and treasure as well. So